I sat cross-legged on my bedroom floor, the afternoon sunlight spilling through the window and warming my back. My friend Leela had sworn by this mental focus trick, some mindfulness exercise she'd picked up from a yoga retreat. "It's like unlocking a hidden part of yourself," she'd said, her eyes glinting with that mysterious spark she always had. "Just focus on your breath, your energy, and picture yourself expanding, like literally growing into your potential." I rolled my eyes at the time, but now, alone in my room, I figured I'd give it a shot. What did I have to lose? I closed my eyes, took a deep breath, and followed Leela's instructions. "Picture your energy as a glowing orb in your chest," she'd said. "Let it spread, let it fill you, let it push your boundaries outward." I imagined that orb, warm and golden, pulsing with each breath. My fingers tingled faintly, like they'd fallen asleep, but I chalked it up to sitting still too long. I kept focusing, breathing deeply, letting that imaginary light spread through my arms, my legs, my whole body. It felt nice, calming, but nothing extraordinary. After a few minutes, I opened my eyes, stretched, and stood up. The room looked off. My desk, usually level with my waist, seemed a hair lower. I blinked, rubbing my eyes. Maybe I was just standing straighter? I glanced at the mirror across the room, and my reflection looked normal. Same brown hair, same freckles, same green eyes. But my jeans felt snug, the cuffs riding a little high above my ankles. Weird. I measured myself against the doorframe where I'd marked my height at 5'4" last year. The mark was definitely lower than my eye level now, by maybe an inch or two. I laughed nervously. "No way," I muttered. "Must be my shoes." But I wasn't wearing shoes. Curiosity tugged at me, so I sat back down and tried the focus trick again. This time, I leaned into it harder, picturing that golden orb brighter, hotter, like a tiny sun inside me. My breaths deepened, and the tingling returned, stronger now, like a warm current rippling under my skin. It started in my chest, then spread outward, making my fingers and toes buzz like they were waking up from a nap. My muscles felt alive, almost vibrating, and a strange, pleasant heat bloomed in my core. I kept my eyes closed, savoring the sensation, letting it build. It was like my whole body was humming, every cell stretching, reaching. I gasped as a sudden jolt shot through me, like a spark igniting, and my clothes felt tighter, the seams of my shirt digging into my shoulders. When I opened my eyes, my heart skipped. The room was definitely smaller. My desk chair, which I could usually nudge with my foot, was now a good 6 inches below my knee. I stood up, and the ceiling felt closer, way closer. My head brushed the light fixture, which I'd never even come close to touching before. I ducked, giggling nervously, and checked the doorframe again. The 5'4" mark was now level with my chest. I had to be at least 5'8" now, maybe taller. My jeans were comically short, like capris, and my shirt strained across my shoulders. The tingling lingered, a warm, electric buzz that made my skin feel alive. I should have been freaked out, but instead, a thrill bubbled up inside me. I felt powerful, bigger, like I was claiming space I'd never known I could. I couldn't stop. I sat down again, the floor creaking under me, and closed my eyes. This time, I didn't hold back. I pictured that orb exploding into a supernova, its light flooding every inch of me, pushing my boundaries further, stretching me beyond what I thought possible. The tingling surged into a full-on wave, like warm honey flowing through my veins. My skin prickled, my muscles hummed, and I felt my body shift. It was slow at first, a gentle stretch, like waking up after a long sleep. Then it intensified, a delicious electric pull that made my breath catch. My legs extended, my arms lengthened, and my clothes groaned, seams popping as my body outgrew them. The sensation was intoxicating. Every inch of me felt alive, vibrant, like I was becoming more me than I'd ever been. When I opened my eyes, I gasped. The ceiling was only a foot above my head now. My legs sprawled across the room, my feet pressing against the far wall. My desk looked like dollhouse furniture, and my mirror reflected a version of me that was huge. I stood, ducking to avoid the ceiling, and measured myself against the doorframe. The top of the frame, at 6'8", barely reached my shoulder. I had to be close to 7 feet tall, maybe more. My shirt was in tatters, my jeans barely clinging to my thighs. The tingling hadn't stopped. It danced across my skin, urging me to keep going. And God help me, I wanted to. The feeling of growing, of taking up space, of being more, it was like a drug. I loved it. I moved to the living room, where the ceilings were higher, and tried again. This time, I let myself sink into the sensation fully, no hesitation. The golden orb in my mind blazed like a star, and the tingling exploded into a symphony of warmth and power. My body surged, the growth faster now, more intense. My spine stretched, my limbs extended, and I felt my perspective shift as the room shrank around me. The sensation was euphoric. Every inch I gained sent shivers of delight through me, like my body was singing. My feet pressed against the couch, then pushed it aside. My head grazed the 9-foot ceiling, then pressed against it, forcing me to crouch. My clothes were gone now, reduced to scraps, but I didn't care. I felt unstoppable, like the world was too small to contain me. When I stood, or tried to, the ceiling buckled above me. I had to be over 10 feet tall, maybe 12. The living room looked like a child's playset, the furniture tiny and fragile. The tingling was a constant hum now, a delicious buzz that made me want to laugh and cry at the same time. I loved this feeling, the power, the freedom, the sheer size of me. I pushed through the back door, the frame splintering around me, and stepped into the yard. The grass felt soft under my massive feet, and the trees, once towering, barely reached my waist. I closed my eyes one last time, letting the orb consume me. The growth came in a rush, a tidal wave of sensation that made my whole body sing. My skin stretched, my bones expanded, and the tingling became a roar of energy, like I was a star being born. I felt the ground shake as I grew, my shadow stretching across the yard, then the street, then the neighborhood. When I opened my eyes, I was a colossus. Houses looked like toys at my feet, cars like matchboxes. I had to be 50 feet tall, maybe more. The tingling was part of me now, a constant pulse of life and power. I stood there, towering over the world, and laughed, a deep, resonant sound that echoed for miles. I should have been scared. I should have worried about what came next. But all I could think was how much I loved this. The growth, the sensation, the sheer magnitude of me, it was everything I never knew I wanted. Lila's trick had unlocked something inside me, and I wasn't sure I'd ever want to go back.